Good evening. Thank you for tuning in to Brown Girls Can Cook. I'm your host, Chef Tiffany Blackman. Today we have Chef Coralene T. Franklin on the line. I'm so thankful to be blessed by this woman. She is amazing. She's not only just an amazing chef, she's an amazing mentor. She's very inspirational. She inspires me. And we have built a wonderful, wonderful friendship over these last few months that we have met. And I am so pleased and thankful. Everybody, let's welcome her to Brown Girls Can Cook.
Hi, guys. This is Chef Coralene T. Franklin, and I am a brown girl that can cook. I am just super excited about even being invited to share my story, share my culinary journey, to share my life as a brown girl that can cook. I'm just excited, and I'm grateful to God for the opportunity to be able to just shed some light on what it's like to be a brown/black woman in the culinary industry.
And it is an amazing journey, and also at sometimes it can be a struggle because we're forced to show our hands so much that people always assume that we have an attitude or there's an intimidation factor when we walk in a room, because we do show such a presence of high standards and elegance, and our passion for food is so different than our counterparts. You know, like we had a conversation before, like how females cook with passion and love because we're natural nurturers, while males tend to cook with egos and because they want status. So it's such a different play for us female chefs. And then when it comes into play with female chefs of color, we set a whole different bar. A whole different bar. It's so funny. I was watching Oprah a couple of weeks ago, and it was a woman on there. She was a I don't know if she was a chef or just a home cook that had a blog, but first thing Oprah did when she tasted food, her face expression was priceless. And the second thing she said is, "Do you use salt and pepper?" All I could do was laugh, because that is my biggest thing. One thing I love about being a brown girl that can cook is that we put some flavors together that people will be like, "What did you put in that?"
Right.
And it's
right,
like, if I tell you, then I'm going to have to kill you. So I'm not going to tell you. You know, so.
Isn't that always the statement? If I tell you, I'm going to have to kill you.
Yes.
Isn't that always the statement?
Yes. So for you, Chef, your journey has been undeniable. I've watched you for we've been friends on Facebook for quite some time until we actually met this year.
Yes, ma'am.
And I've watched your food quality. I've watched your growth. Just recently, you know, when you were up in that high rise, and just to see the view reminded me of a place I used to work in Richmond, Virginia, called Bull and Bear Private Club. And it was surrounded by picturesque windows all the way around, and you could see the city. When I saw you in that moment, to me, when I looked at your face, that was your pride. Your priding moment was there because you saw yourself elevated. And I saw it in your face. I heard it in your words as you spoke. And this is where it comes in at for me with you was, you know, what made you fall in love with food?
Food has always been a big part of my life. My defining moment with food was, I don't know what event or occasion it was, but I do remember this distinctively. In my family scope, every woman that was in the kitchen had a task. Most of the time at the lead, at the helm, was my Aunt Belle, because she was the best of our family cooks from my grandmother's side. So my Aunt Belle is my grandmother's sister. My Aunt Belle had a restaurant on Straight Path in Long Island. So she was known as the family cook. You wanted something done, Belle did it. So she was known as my family's cook. I don't know. I think it was at my Aunt Samantha's house. I might be wrong in that, but the defining moment was this. Cast iron, black skillet. My mama was in charge of the cornbread that occasion. Cornbread. Now, in my family, they make cornbread and dressing, but savory. So my mama was in charge of the savory cornbread. I remember distinctively how heavy the black cast iron skillet was. I remember that my mommy let little old Cora put the butter around the skillet, and if I remember correctly, it was no more than 2 tablespoons of flour, because you just wanted the flour to coat like the butter. You don't want that flour flakiness on your actual cornbread. Man, I said, this is science. I like this. I said, this is the one right here. And that was my distinct moment of when I felt that first little tickle in my belly of, I can do something great through and with food. That was my first defining, distinct moment that I knew as a girl that young that I could take food and make magic.
And that was going to be my second question. Like, when did you know that being a chef was your passion? And you just spoke it right there. You know, just seeing our family, you know, do the regular everyday cooking, but they're cooking with their soul and with their passion, you know, and when you put your soul in your food, it makes it taste a whole lot better. You can taste the family in it. You can taste the passion in it. So that you just spoke that second question I had for you. That's where your passion came. It was just all rolled up in one. And those are the major things that chefs have to realize is, I don't care where you learn your technique from. If you don't have the passion, it doesn't really taste good.
That's the biggest thing. Like your food has to speak to who you are. For me, even like as I grew in the business, food was just everything for me. My life, a lot of events, birth, death, baby shower, weddings, all that stuff, I always remember there being just great food, from savory food to sweet food. You know, everybody in their family, like I said, has someone, you know, you got that one auntie that make a good coconut cake. You got that one auntie that make a good potato salad. You know, then you got that one auntie or that one cousin that believe they can make the best macaroni salad in the world, but everybody at the cookout or everybody at the family function be like, cousin so-and-so made that one. Don't.
It's always that one. No, always that one.
It's true. Listen, we talking truth here. It's always that one that you know believes that they can, and we as family members want to believe with and for them, but at the end of the day, they just ain't got that particular thing together yet. Like, I'll let you in on a little secret. As much as I cook, as many places as I cook, I cannot pan flip an omelet. Now, if you ask me to pan make a 2-sided omelet, meaning I flip the omelet in half, you understand? Like it won't stick to the pan. It's a pretty golden color or anything, but I can roll up omelet, not pan flip an omelet. I can make the stew out of a flatbed omelet, but don't ask me to flip. That thing gonna be on the ceiling.
No, and it's funny because my worst nightmare was rice. I could really not get rice. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you. Rice was my disaster. And one day I just say, you know what, Tiffany? You love rice and peas. You need to get it all the way together. And I taught myself so many times about rice. So what I started doing is every time I made rice, I just really, really paid attention to the pot. And it was funny when I was in culinary school, it was like, okay, who's doing the rice? And they were like, oh, we're going to let Tiffany do the rice. I said, I don't think y'all want me to do the rice. I was like, I really don't. I said, we're going to have some gummy rice. That's what's getting ready to happen. But over time through that and going through culinary school and really understanding how to cook rice, because I like my rice flaky. And
right.
I like to see it beautiful. I love Jamaican rice. When they make rice and peas, it's so beautiful. And I remember my ex, he showed me how to make the rice and peas properly. And one time I made it, it was like so gummy and sticky. It looked like he said, "What you made me, porridge?" I just bust out laughing. But that was my defining moment. It was like, okay, how am I going through culinary school and I can't make rice?
But this is the thing about being a chef or a culinarian, period. Someone that loves the art of cooking. You are consistently learning every single day. As much as you think you know, like daily you learn new stuff. And I'm gonna tell you, like literally, Chef Tiff, I take back ends of the bread and practice in a pan and see if I can catch the back end of the bread in the pan. Because I'm like, okay, now if your hand-eye coordination is good enough to do that, you might work your way up to catching a whole egg omelet.
Exactly. And it was so funny because when I finally was in my second year of school and I was making rice like no other, they'd be like, oh, can you make the risotto? Okay.
See?
Can you make?
You see?
Sure. Like now, can't tell me nothing now. But back then, boy, I was like, look. I said, well, this rice is about to be some rice pudding. That's what this is gonna be. Because that's how it was looking. It was looking like some tapioca or some rice pudding. And my mom used to laugh at me so much, and she was like, why are you wasting all this rice? I said, because when I go back to school, I need to make sure that I do this perfectly. Because doing those presentations and then you had your practicals. I never wanted to fail, and it was so funny because my instructor told me, he was like, you're an overachiever. And this was the director of the school. And I said, what is an overachiever?
What is an overachiever? I didn't know that was a thing. Hold on.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a thing either. But now,
I didn't know overachieving was a thing.
And it was so funny because after I got the position with King's Dominion, I went back to the school to recruit interns. So one of my stories to them was like, yeah, when I was here and we were at the inn and we were going through the hospitality portion and then we had to go out on externships, he told me in the class, he was like, yeah, she's our overachiever, trying to embarrass me. I said, but look at what overachieving gets you. I'm running the food in the culinary portion of King's Dominion. I am the executive chef over a major theme park. So that's the one thing that I wanted to talk to you about too, because, we have so much that we want to achieve personally as females, but then when you become a professional, there's another achievement that you want to make, and that's making sure that you're doing all the right steps. And I know with you being in New York, it's you're on a playground with many, and I mean many. And I love New York. When I used to work in New York, I loved the hustle and bustle in New York. But there's an expectation in the big city.
Absolutely.
And where do you see yourself fitting in?
Well, wow, that's a two-sided question. I'm going to see if I can come up with the best answer. So, first, I'll address it from the side of being just a female, and a black female first. As a black woman, in the culinary industry corporately, most of the time, I don't think it's so much about me fitting in. Most of the time, it's about me proving that I belong in that particular environment. The challenge with being a black chef, a black female chef, not a black chef, black female chef, in most corporate entities is that when you walk in, you don't see a lot of yourself. Most of the time, the executive chefs or the lead chefs or lead cooks are either Italian or French men, and their sous or whatever it may be are maybe of Hispanic origin, but definitely, male. So they're not used to, one, having women or a black woman in their kitchen. So first things first is I have to be sure that I'm sound and solid and confident in what I'm there to do, the task that is put before me. And then on the opposite side of it, just being able to carry my own, because a lot of times, me being a freelance chef, I go into a lot of different places. I go into everywhere from corporate banks to business to like little cafes. So with me being a freelance chef, I can go from producing on a line where I'm doing a big brekkie Australian breakfast to doing a continental for 150 people. So with that being said, I just always have to walk into every situation in confidence that no matter what they throw at me, I'm here for it. I am talented enough to be in whatever environment it may be. And more than anything, God got me. God got me, and he created this space and that time for me to show who I am with his help. So that's the first side. The second side of the New York part of it is this, that, and the other, is that New York people, they sometimes, not all New York people, but sometimes you gotta know somebody to be somebody, or you have to do something for somebody with a name before people really want to mess with you. So that part of it, I can say that I kind of paved my own way. I have cooked for some celebrities. I have been able to grace the palates of multi-billionaires that I really don't like push, or say, oh, I cooked for so-and-so and so, or I did this with so-and-so and so, or I did that with so-and-so and so, because I feel like when it's my time to shine and be on the forefront, like lights, camera, action time, none of that will matter. It'll be what God created for me to do at that particular time to get me in front of people so that young black girls and young brown girls can understand that you can definitely walk behind somebody, but create your own path and create your own trail while appreciating the people that paved the way for you.
I respect that, and that's true, because a lot of times, like you said, and I had spoke about this before with Chef Ty, there's different type of levels that you go through when you're a chef, and a lot of things that people like to carry is this celebrity chef title. And what people don't realize is, okay, you're cooking for a celebrity, but you have to realize you're still doing a service.
Listen, I'm just Chef Coralene. That's it. And I really, Chef, I'll tell you a story. Sorry to interrupt you. But what you just said to me pricked something in my spirit, because it wasn't until one of my mentors, Alex Askew, who is a certified master chef introduced me as Chef Coralene that I even took on the title of a chef. Now, mind you, I had already been in the business corporately in the business for more than 10 years. And this man had been mentoring me and this, that, and the other. And we all went out for a family meal. And the chef of Negril's downtown in the village actually came out because it was said that he was serving a bunch of chefs. So he came out, and my mentor, Alex Askew, actually introduced me as Chef Coralene. I was like, now, wait, this is it right here, people.
Yep.
Hey, now. So I never took on that title until my mentorship said, you are Chef Coralene. It's not that I wasn't confident in my cooking skills. It's just that the title never really mattered much to me.
And people put a lot of titles on things that they're not even, like you said, you didn't realize you were worthy of it until a master chef told you were.
It. See, and that's it. And this is the first time I've ever, I think this is the first time I've ever shared this story. I have a resume. But I'm not the type that be like, oh, I'm so-and-so, and I cooked for so-and-so, and I've worked for so-and-so, and I've been here and there, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
And all that name dropping. I mean, it's not necessary because your craft should speak for itself.
Thank you, Chef. And that's the thing. What does any of it matter? You understand? When you get to the place where people are supposed to know exactly who you are, please know and understand that God will put that thing on you in such a way, and it'll be undeniable. It'll be absolutely undeniable. There will be no denying the fact that you are who you are, and your placement in that space at that time is absolutely where you should be. Period.
Exactly. And I honestly can say for myself, when I received the position at King's Dominion, I remember my father, before he passed away, he said, I'm going to tell you this. He said, there's going to be a stage so big for you that your brand is going to brand itself. You're not going to have to do anything. It's going to brand itself. And true statement from not just one person, but two people have said to me, one being management at King's Dominion when I resigned. She said, Chef, she said, you left a legacy. She said, not just on your food quality, but your management style. Then I had one of the coaster companies. It's like a coaster crew fan club, and they go around to all the different theme parks. And they said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sad that you left." They was like, "But wherever you open up shop at, wherever you at, if I can come there, I will be there." They were like, because you took King's Dominion from just being a theme park to a food experience. And they told me I was on the line of Busch Gardens and Dollywood. I said, mad respect. Because I put the work in. And I feel like anybody that's going to do or say that they are a chef and they are proud of it is because you put the work in.
That's the biggest thing. Put in the work in. You got to do the work. Like here's the biggest thing with me. There has been plenty of people that have come into my life, come into my world, from prophecy to just statements. And I can say at this point in my life, I'm still seeing that come to fruition. There's so many different, avenues that are now open to me. Besides me just being a chef, there's so many avenues that have been opened up to me through the world of cooking that it sometimes blow my mind. Like that, like I told you a while back, hey chef, I'm gonna pull off of social media. I'm gonna step back, and I'm not gonna be as visible as I was, but I'll be checking in with you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you just need that time to refocus your energy and refocus your time and make sure that you are doing what you're supposed to do as a human being. And then not only that, just as a representation of like, you know, what wholeness in God should look like. You know, sometimes social media can be a distraction, you know, because there's a lot going on social media.
It very much is.
Oh, yes, ma'am. So sometimes social media can be a distraction. And when you have purpose on your life and you understand that your life is just not for you, no matter what avenue you've been blessed with to be of service to someone else, sometimes you just got to pull back a little bit and say, hey, I need to do this, or I need to reevaluate that, or I need to maybe change my approach, to how I may be using social media, or even communicating the message or the purpose that I feel is inside of me, or the purpose that I believe God gave to me. So, you know, sometimes you just got to pull back and just like refocus your time and refocus your energy, and then also get around people that understand that I might not need you to call me every day, but I need you to pray for me every day.
Exactly. And that's funny that you said that, because I just said that to my mom. I said, Mom, I just got this to-go restaurant. All I need you to do is just pray for me every day, of every second, of every minute. That's all I need you to do. I don't need your money. I don't need your time. I just need your prayer.
That's it.
And just love me. That's it. And you just hit it right on the nose. Sometimes people want to jump into your blessing, and then they can be coming with some type of negativity that you don't even know they got coming with them. And the next thing you know, your blessing is messed up. And Steve Harvey, he did a seminar on missing your blessings. And when I saw that, I said, you know what? I missed my blessings a few times because I allowed other people in. But this time, I said, nope, I'm doing this, and I'm keeping myself, like you said, you have to come off the grid. Got to stop telling people what you're doing.
Sure. And that's the biggest, Chef, and that's the biggest thing. Sometimes you gotta move in silence.
Yes.
It's not the easiest, because sometimes that can be bubbling over in you. You know, it'd be like you be so excited, you just want to share it with people and this, that, and the other, and you just want the world to know, hey, I got this going on, or I got that going on, or God is blessing me in this way, or God is blessing me in that way. Sometimes you just really gotta move in silence.
Yes.
Sometimes you really just gotta get in that good, quiet. And it's not that you don't want that human interaction or even that human connection, but you gotta get in your quiet space so that God can give you clear, sound direction on how to move. Period.
Exactly.
You know, you might have that one or two people that you trust with your stuff, and you might reach out to them and say, hey, you know, sis, or hey, bro, so-and-so and so-and-so. But at the end of the day, sometimes you just got to get in that quiet space, get real quiet, get real silent. It was a time where every single day I was doing a Facebook Live. I was doing my street eats. I was doing this. I was doing that. It's not that I'm not still mobile. It's just that so many different things are changing in my world. And I know that I have to be silent about at least, realistically, 73% of all the stuff that's going on in my world.
Exactly.
Because like, at the end of the day, as many people that are that may be or are rooting for you, there's still those people out there that's just waiting to attach that negativity to your movement.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
no, this is factual. And at the end of the day, especially as Black women in business and having an understanding of how the business world works, whether it be culinary or outside of culinary, we just have to understand that our business is not everybody's business. When it's time for the release, God will create an atmosphere. God will create whatever platform that's needed for everything to be where it needs to be. So
Yep.
that's super, super big for business, period. Regardless if it's in the culinary world or outside of the culinary world. That's super big for business, especially as Black people. We have to protect ourselves as well as each other. We have to absolutely use our discernment when we're putting certain information out there.
And that is so true. And the funny thing is, when I took the break that I've been taking, and I went to Michigan, let me tell you, I learned so much about me that I didn't even know. And that was the biggest thing, because since I was 14 years old, all I've been doing is working, and raising my family. I never knew who Tiffany was. And now I'm 47 years old. I have a beautiful family, and I have granddaughters. And I said, what legacy am I leaving them at the end of the day? What can I contribute to my family's future success? What can they say about their grandmother? And just sitting in Michigan, when I tell you, I saw some of the most gorgeous blue water between Canada and Michigan. I saw elk for the first time in my life. And it was one that kept following me. And I said, do you want to have a conversation? Let's talk. I even named him. His name is Charlie, a.k.a. Chuck.
Charlie.
A.k.a. Chuck. Yes. Because everywhere I moved, I'm by the gate, and everywhere I moved, he was there. And he would look at me, and you could see like him just gazing at me. And I was just like, so my husband said, he really likes you. And I said, I don't know. He may have a person inside of him that came back as this animal. So we're going to have a conversation. I said, I don't know your name is. I said, but you look like a Charlie to me. So that's your name, Charlie, a.k.a. Chuck.
Charlie, a.k.a. Chuck. Come on, elk, with a name.
Yes. And I said, I'm hoping you having a blessed day. And I said, I see you kind of standoffish to your counterparts. I said, I don't know what's going on. And I gave them a little shout out. But it was just so funny, because it was like we were having a conversation with our eyes.
Right.
And that's the one thing that I realized as I started to grow, and as I'm growing, that as a chef, I'm giving the best part of me to people that didn't appreciate me. And when I tell you, I'm the type of person, I have a crazy, ridiculous mind. Like, I wake up with food concepts, and I go in my kitchen and I make it to see what it's going to look like based on the vision that God gave me. Then I, always got my taste testers, and they're like, oh, this is so doggone good. like, where you going to put this at? And I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
Like, I don't know. This is one for the books, because
right.
I am a introvert in so many words. But I like to be by myself, but when I get around people, I can talk. I am kind of shy, but once I get to know you, I can present myself and talk very, very well. But I'm a true introvert. And I think a lot of us chefs are, because we get into ourselves and we get into the creativity side of us. And I had to think about, what is it as a chef you want to bring to the next chefs? That's my next question for you. As a chef, and being a female chef as you are, and I thank you for that story, because, again, we don't know who we are sometimes. And then when someone gives you a label, and like I said, that word celebrity chef, it drives me crazy. Because as soon as someone cooks for a celebrity, they feel that is, oh, I'm a celebrity chef now. You should already feel like that in your heart. It shouldn't have to be something that is told to you. It shouldn't be something that you need to make sure it's on paperwork so that people will hire you again, because your work should always speak for itself. So if you had any advice for any young women of color that are trying to get out here to be a good chef, an elevated chef, a phenomenal chef, what would you tell them?
First thing would be, know who you are before you enter into any kitchen. I'll make it plain. You have to have a certain confidence or a certain wherewithal when you are playing in the big boy field. This business is a wonderful business. It is absolutely amazing. You can make good money and a lot of it. But you have to have standards set for yourself. One, as a chef. Two, as a Black woman chef. You have to be assured that no matter how rough the days get, or how hard they are, or what is said to you, if this is your passion, you have to muster up the strength. If you have to go into a walk-in and cry it out, wipe your tears and get back on that kitchen floor, then that's what you need to do. I will say this, and I don't know why I'm saying it, and I don't know what young woman might need to hear this, but never, ever compromise your integrity. It's not worth it. It'll come back to haunt you, and all you're doing is playing into what corporate America expects Black girls to be. That's one thing that you should never, ever do. Compromise your integrity. Because you have to walk through the industry, and it's very, very small. Trust me. It's extremely small. You never know what chef, know this chef, know that chef, know this chef, know that chef. And I know this might be a tad bit off topic, but I feel like I need to say it, and I need to share it for some of the young women that might tune in to Sensational Sound Radio. Young lady, you have to understand that no matter what, you are who God created you to be. You don't have to sacrifice your soul. You don't have to give nothing away to get to nowhere. I've been in this business for more. My youngest child is 20 years old. My middle child is 23. I started selling dinners out of my apartment on Saturdays only when my babies was young. And I've worked my way, literally standing up on my own 2 feet. And I said it that way on purpose. Going back to not compromising your integrity. Make your money standing up on your feet with your back straight. This way, nobody can come back to you later and say you did this for that, because this industry is cutthroat. So know who you are. You step on any kitchen floor, in any form of the culinary realm, whether it be as a sommelier, whether it be as a server, whether it be as a line cook, whether it be as a garde, no matter what you're looking to, hospitality management, make your money standing on your feet with your back straight, because integrity is worth everything. That's number one. Number two, mentorship. Get under a good mentorship. Do not let someone mentor you that's not where you're looking to go, or that has been through, like, that don't look like you. Meaning this, I have two mentors right now. I'm 44 years old. I still have mentors. Alex Askew and Devoria Simmons, one black man and one black woman. One of them is an educator. She actually taught me in culinary school. She's been a part of nonprofit organizations. Alex Askew, the master chef that I mentioned earlier today, he is the president of the Black Culinary Alliance. Okay? They started that after they graduated. He himself and another black gentleman started that after they graduated Johnson and Wales, and realized that there was no structured programming for the black culinary students.
That's awesome.
So get yourself good mentorship. And my final thing is this. Understand that no matter what, you are who God said you are. You have to know that you have a piece of God in you. And I'll prove it. In Genesis, it says, let us create man in our own image. That means we have a piece of the Father God and the Lord Jesus Christ. Because it said, let us. Inside of us. So you are unstoppable. There is nothing that you can't accomplish as long as you keep that thought first. So that's it. I'm done.
And that's what I would say too. You know, I always tell people when they're struggling with who they are and where they're trying to go, and I always tell them, I was like, your best is your greatest, and your greatest is the exceptional. So if you think you're the best, then be great. And if you think you're great, then be exceptional. And you'll keep building yourself up to be the person that you want to be. But in the midst of that, you have to remember where you come from too. And you have to make sure that you pay it forward to the next person that's coming right behind you, and help them get through too. Because a lot of times we get so big that we forget about those people that need our assistance, that needs that, like you said, that mentorship to get them to the right places in this world we have. You know, as female chefs, we go through so much, and it's just not even as being a chef. You know, talking to people that are in different industries, the struggle is real for females, and we have to fight tooth and nail, because we're just not career orientated. We're mothers. Some of us are grandmothers. We're somebody's daughter, somebody's sister, and so all that impacts our day to day. That impacts our day to day. You know, my business partner and cousin's daughter just was shot 5 times on Friday evening, just by going by to visit another relative. And this young lady, she doesn't do anything. She doesn't go anywhere. She works for the federal court system, and she's just a normal young woman. And just to see that, you know, people just can walk out their doors and no longer be here.
Right.
And I said, you know, the struggle is so real for females, because we're so generally kind-hearted, trusting, until you do something wrong to us. Then we're a firecracker.
Most of
But
the time.
yeah, but in a whole, this industry tries to eat up and swallow females.
If you're not strong, Chef, it absolutely will. The whole thing about just accepting the challenge of being a black woman chef, well, black, because that's something, well, you know what, I can't even say that because people are making choices nowadays. People are changing everything that they don't like about themselves, so I can't even make that statement anymore. I'm going to say it this way. I choose to stay what I was born and be a black woman chef. I like who I am. I like the skin I'm in. I'm not lightening my skin. I'm not doing nothing else. I like who I am. With my belly in on, I love it. I love me. I'm in love with me. I'm good with me. I like it. I was about to say, we don't have no choice. But listen, this is America, and people are making choices every day for their lives. And I don't come against nobody in their choices. I choose to stay who I am and how I am. Bam. With that being said, this entire, and this is going to be a little bit deep, Chef, so I want you to rock with me for a minute.
I'm going to rock with you.
The way the world is structured is for the black family system to be broken at its core. It's generational. I don't believe that it attaches itself to every family, because I know many of successful married black families where the parents are doing it and teaching the children and raising the children and all of this other stuff. But this world is fitted for the black girl, brown girl, to feel like she has to fight on her own, to feel like she has to be that lioness for herself, to feel like she has to just take on all of it by herself. Now, I'm not saying that sometimes it's not necessary. What I am saying is black women and black men were created to do it apart. God absolutely created us to do it together. He created us to accommodate one another. I'm talking about black folks. Anybody that understands the inception of our creation and who we really are as black people, as the first people of the earth, have to understand that this system was set up to divide and conquer us, period, because of how powerful we are.
And we're definitely stronger in numbers.
I know this is deep, and I know I'm a little bit off the whole chef thing, but roll with me for a second because I'll come back to it. The minute that black men understand and black women understand that we absolutely need each other to survive. And I'm not saying for you to go out there and scrape your head down to the white meat for some crazy kook that don't deserve your time. Understand, goes for my brothers and my sisters. What I am saying is this. We are the first people of the earth. God created us special. Understand that everything we need is right within our community, most of the time within our family scope. And because we don't like cousin so-and-so, we rather go to the Asian to get it done. Or we feel like we're not going to mess with sister so-and-so because they charge too much. When you go into the Vuitton store, guess what, baby? You pay what Vuitton asks you to pay. At the end of the day, as black people, black men, Black woman, we gotta understand that it's all mental. And the minute we mentally get out of our own way, the Black community in a whole is going to be an unstoppable force, period. We have to understand who we are. We have to understand who we are in every community that we go into, be it educating our Caucasian sisters and brothers on the fact that we are not all crazy, we are not all animals, we are not all insane, that we are just as educated, and we pride ourselves on being educated and educating our family and educating our children and having an understanding of who they are on this earth. So at the end of the day, in any industry that a Black female step foot into, whether it be finances, whether it be culinary, whether it be management, whether it be you're a lawyer, a doctor, whatever it is, Black men and Black women have to understand who you are. And that is why the struggle has always been so real. Because if we ever take the shackles off of our minds as Black people, as a community, in all of our industries, the economy, European economy, will collapse as far as they know it, because we drive it all. We take all of our resource, time, energy, money, effort, everything, and push it into everybody else's everything.
And that's what T.I. was just talking about. T.I. just said that. He said, we're buying into Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Versace, but we're not buying into our own.
And that means even into the family scope.
Yep.
It doesn't make sense for us to have all this talent, all this energy, all this everything, and we're consistently competing. That's the way this world was set up, to pit us against each other. Do you not understand that there should be no way I should have to go outside of my community to get my eyebrows done? I should not have to go to nobody else to get my nails done. I should not have to go to nobody else to get my little curly, low afro pattern that I'm wearing now. I should not have to go to nobody else. And if my sister or my brother asks me to pay them to give me a service, I shouldn't have a problem with that. I'm building my community. And we have to be consistent in building our community. We have to do it.
And that's another thing, because they also have to realize, a lot of times with being a chef of color, we have those people that want us to give them champagne dreams on bare money. But when you
Kool-Aid, honey. Kool-Aid.
You know what I'm saying?
They want caviar and Prosecco on a Kool-Aid dime, honey. And I don't give away Kool-Aid. Sorry.
Exactly. And I want you to respect me just like you respect my counterparts when they give you that $25,000 bill for that nasty food they done gave you. Mm-hmm. That have no flavor.
Amen. Amen. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And at the end of the day, again, Chef, for Black people all the way around, Chef Tiff. And by that, I mean this. Be it Black church community, be it Black financiers, be it Black doctors, Black lawyers, Black law enforcement, Black chefs, be it any of it, we have to now start putting all of our funds and our monies together and regenerating it within our own community, so that this way now we can begin to recoup, not even take back, but to recoup what's rightfully ours. Because at the end of the day, you look at anything that's ever been built in America, it was built on the back of the indigenous people that was here when the European came across. And then they brought us with them. So they drove out the indigenous people that was here, brought us with them, made us work for free. Okay? Let's chat now. Let's chat about
exactly.
this.
Exactly.
Let us work for free. Okay? And then felt like they was giving us something because they gave us freedom. But then even in that, we still had to prove that we were even human beings in order to get rights as a human being. And then when we built up our community, Chef Tiff, because we've had our own communities. We've had our own schools, our own hospitals. We've had all of our own things at times and points at many different times through history. It's in history books. They brought us here. We learned a new language. We learned their civilized culture. We took that and we made what we could make of it and created entire communities, entire financial systems, this, that, and the other. Here comes the burn down. Here comes the destruction. Here comes the destroying. You understand?
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, in this time and age, it should not be no way where us as African people, forget that American part, because American wasn't our choice. The African we was born as, but that American was not our choice. And I'm getting serious and real deep. As African people that was born with birthright, architects, carpenters, mathematicians, educators, scholars, that we were born as these things. It shouldn't be no way that we should not fund our own selves. There should be enough in our own communities for us not to ever have to go out into any other financial organization and ask them for nothing. And that's how they keep us bound. That's how they keep us bound. We have to depend on them to assist us in our next growth when we should not have to. In our next levels when we should not have to.
And it is. It's time for us to level up.
Alone, Chef, in a beauty industry alone, Chef, do you know that black women in a beauty industry, this is not fashion, this is not clothes, this is hair, nails, and lashes. Read the Forbes. $3.8 billion a year, black women all over the world spend for hair, nails, and lashes. Now, hold on. We're not talking about what the brothers spent. We're not talking about what the black men spend on whatever they like to spend on. We're talking about black women. So that's black doctors, that's black lawyers, that's black women. All of these are black women. So that's black women doctors that like to get their hair and their nails done and them lashes. That's black women culinarians that like to get their hair done and their nails done and them lashes. And whether it be you're installing your hair or you're buying it from a European, you're buying it from an Asian most of the time. If you're going to get your nails done, most of the time, getting your nails done by an Asian. And if they're not the person that's actually like, if you go to a black person to get your nails done, most of the time the supplies, the place that they get the supplies from, most of the time is Asian people. So even if you are going to a black person to get your nails, your hair, and all that stuff done, most of the time the place where they get all their supplies from is Asian companies. Why we don't own none of this stuff? We spending all our money.
And the fact is, I just was recently looking at Black Enterprise magazine. Just recently, we have the very first black owned and ran. All the employees are black, and I believe it was Alabama beauty supply store. Then in Georgia, the very first owned and operated black gas station. And I just met a man, and it so happened we were in Wilson, North Carolina. I met a doctor, and he's a retired military, and he's trying to open a travel plaza in several states across the country. And him and I got to talking, and I said, well, why didn't you go to Black Wall Street? And he was like, what's Black Wall Street? I said, you never heard of Black Wall Street? I said, Black Wall Street is an investment organization that helps you get those investors, like those angel investors. I said, they help you get angel investors. They invest in you, and they teach you how to build your business. So I got him in contact with someone that I worked with when I was in North Carolina. One of the locations is in Durham, North Carolina. So I said, hey, I can, get you in touch with the woman that I work with that was helping me, get started and helping me understand how to create a business plan. And that's the biggest thing. That's another problem we have, is how many of us actually know how to sit down and do a business plan.
But not only that, Chef, how many, the ones that do know how to do it, how many of us are sitting down and even offering that as a service to our community? How many of us are saying, hey, I know how to do a business plan, bullet points, proposals, all of it. How often are we even speaking that out loud via social media or even amongst our own peer group to say, hey, I know how to do this. Let me help you get to your next level. Or this is even a service I'm offering, or whatever it may be. How many times do we actually say these things? You understand what I'm saying? How many times do we actually, offer up our services or the knowledge that we know to people to help them get to their next level? How often do we do that as a community?
And we don't, and that's another reason why also, like, really understanding what we have to do to make things better for our community in itself. When I look at someone like Nipsey Hussle, who did that and is still doing it, his family's still continuing on with that marathon. He built those outlets like the Vector 9, helping young people understand what STEM was about. Giving them an opportunity, a meeting place where they can have their business meeting, be able to have a small office setting where they can have their conferences and things of that nature. And I was like, wow, this young man is awesome. And then I found out we have that right here in the city of Richmond.
Right.
A young black girl opened one. And it's a meeting space.
Right.
And I said, wow. Just finding out little things. Like right now, I'm partnering up with Cam from Radio 1 Music Station. He's an amazing young man. And as soon as he found out that I wasn't no longer working for my company, he was like, oh, I need you. I got some stuff. And he's been putting me on to so many things since. And I said, hold on, Cam. I said, I'm a type of person. I'm very logistical person. I like logistics. I like to write everything down. I need to know facts. I said, I'm like, whatever we talk about, I take minutes. I take all the information and I'll recap it back to you so that we're all on the same page. So he's like, oh man, I like you. He was like, I wish more people was like that. I said, yeah. I said, I have to make sure that I have your email address because whatever we talk about today, I want it to be sent to you so that we're in agreement what's going on. And a lot of times that's where we fall short at, is because we don't get the information.
We don't create paper trails. No, we don't create paper trails. As one of the things I learned just having my own business, being able to have proof of whatever interaction, whether it be just a discussion, especially when it pertains to business, is absolutely important. And sometimes we shy away from it because most of the time we do business with acquaintances. So we let good business practice get in the way sometimes, not all of us, sometimes get in the way of our business sense. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
Like if you sitting down and you doing something with your cousin who just so happened to be who's your business partner, but she just so happened to be your cousin. A lot of times we don't even think to create, even if it's just a basic contract. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And most recently, Chef Tiff, I had to learn, regardless of the connection, when it comes to business, you have to create these business contracts from the smallest thing to the biggest thing, because you don't want that to be the thing that falls out. Business is business.
Exactly.
Business is business. It don't mean I love you any less, because I'm saying to you, this is how we need to do it, and this has to be signed before we proceed on a business level. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to go to brunch with you on Saturday. It also don't mean that we're not going to sit down and be cousins after this. You always going to be my family, but business is business. And that's another thing we have to start doing, Chef Tiff. No matter what, as business women, we have to start making sure that all of our stuff is solid.
Exactly.
Paper trails are worth the world. When even via text, when you could pull back that text that said, no, baby, we were supposed to talk to each other at 4:00, so and so and so. You understand?
Exactly.
We were supposed to, no. And that's just sound business practice. Every other culture does this, and we find fault with it because we have a problem with the trust.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that I don't trust you. It just means that I have good business sense.
And just like when we started to talk about the Brown Girls Can Cook, the first thing I did was, when we started talking about it, I said, oh no, I need paperwork. I need to make sure that, my information is protected. I got with my entertainment lawyer, and even before we come to record with all of you guys for the documentary, there's paperwork that's going to be sent to you. So we can use your likeness, and then perhaps if everything goes well, which it is, because God is good.
Yes, it is. Yes,
it is going to be on a major network and or on Netflix as a docuseries.
Yes, it is.
You know what I'm saying? And logistically, I had to make sure things was going to be well. The legal part of it, that was one of the first things I did. I went to get my certificate of organization. I got my tax ID number. I sent the script to the Writers Guild, got that certified. I sent it to the copyright, got that certified. Me and my cousin are both on it. Everything that I did is she and I. Our names is on it.
Right.
Because I didn't, and that was the one thing. Like you said, business is business. You're going to be my family all day, every day, but business is business.
That's it. You still going to be my family at the end of all of it. Even if we fall out, you still my family.
And look.
But at the end of the day, business is business. And we have to start understanding the scope of business. We have to come together. And this goes back to what I said before. Even as chefs, it's so many Black women chefs in our industry that don't even know each other, but they heard something about somebody or something like that, and now it's like, oh no, you heard about Chef so-and-so? Oh, I don't know about her because my friend said this, that, and the other. Do you not understand that if all the African women got together just in the culinary field, from sommeliers to front of the house management, to hospitality, down to service and chefs, do you not understand the network and net worth we could have?
It so true.
Just us, just Black women in the hospitality / restaurant industry. And that also includes, because there's women that's in the financial aspect of the culinary business. There's women that's in the planning aspect of culinary business. There's women in the culinary business, but they're not necessarily in the kitchen.
Exactly.
You understand?
Because
So
there's always a need for a nutritionist, a dietitian. There's also a need for the accounting factor of it, the hospitality factor of it. So there are so many different aspects of this business.
And Chef, that's what I'm saying. If we all got together, all of us, all the brown, black women got together, just in that industry alone, the insanity of it all will like flip the culinary world, period, on its head. Why should we compete against each other when we can collaborate with each other? And now everybody's sitting at the table and we all full and rubbing our bellies, or we all got on our elastic pants so we don't have to unbutton nothing. Okay. Like, I don't understand.
And that is
okay, I think that's a big challenge in our industry. We're all pitted against each other.
And there's
it doesn't
no need.
Make sense to me.
Yeah, and there's no need.
It really doesn't. It don't make sense to me. Oh, she this or she that or this, that. All of us have worked to get to whatever point we are at in our culinary careers. We're not taking